This is the transtalk two-way speech-to-speech translation system. Transtalk is an Android application that runs on any stock Android phone. This one in particular is a Samsung Galaxy Note 8 system, although it can run on phones with as low power as the Samsung S5. The application is very simple to use. There are two buttons on the phone, one for the English language speaker, labeled English, and one for the foreign language speaker with the name of the language that they speak on it. All that the soldier has to do is press the button and speak into the microphone on the phone to produce a translation. Have you seen any insurgent activity in the area?
Have you seen any insurgent activity in the area?
انت شفت النشاطات مع المتمردين بالمنطقة.
In this case, the translation is read back in English, so the soldier has confirmation that the system has heard what they intended to say. If for some reason the initial English speech recognition was performed incorrectly, they can stop the translation with a tap of the button. The translation is performed almost immediately, in this case into Iraqi Arabic, and written in this button, but also played out via text-to-speech synthesis in the target language. When the soldier wants to get a response from the individual they're communicating with, they need to simply hold the phone up to the mouth of the person they're communicating with, press the button, and let them talk freely. This is the transtalk application. The system is designed to be very easy to use with a minimal amount of training. It looks pretty much like any normal Android application. There are only two primary buttons, one for the soldier to use speaking English, and one that's used when the foreign language speaker is speaking. There are two small tabs on either side, one for a phrase book I'll talk about in a minute, and a tab that hides some additional system settings. Also, I'll talk about as soon as I've given a demonstration of the system. All that has to be done to activate the system is to press and hold the buttons and speak into the microphone on the phone. Alongside of each button is a small volume gauge that helps the soldier judge how loudly they're speaking. This is particularly useful when they may be in an outdoor environment or near some noisy equipment when you can't always judge the level of the volume of your own voice. You'll notice it'll be fairly small as I speak into the system since I'm holding the camera at the same time. Have you seen any insurgent activity in the area?
Have you seen any insurgent activity in the area?
انت شفت النشاطات مع المتمردين بالمنطقة.
This is an example of an open-ended question that the system has translated. The system is in English readback mode, so it not only transcribed my query, but played it back in English. This is so the soldier can have confidence that the system has at least recognized their own speech before allowing the translation to occur. This is completely optional. Then the system actually immediately translated it into Iraqi Arabic, and then after the English readback was done, played it in Iraqi as well. If the English readback were turned off, the system would be a lot faster. There's a replay button down here in case the soldier is using a repetitive question that they want to ask to a number of people each time, or an instruction that they're giving in training or something like that. So transtalk is clearly more than a phrase book. Imagine the kind of answers you might get to a question like this. They could be simple yes or no, a simple yes or no answer, or it could be a very complicated answer along the lines of, yes, I saw the man you put up the poster for. He was driving south on the main road in a white Toyota. But the goal here of transtalk is that this is a guided conversation. The response isn't going to be about absolutely anything. It's going to generally be a fairly scoped set of open-ended responses. When the soldier is ready for the foreign language speaker's response, they just push and hold the Iraqi button and hold the phone up to the mouth of the person they are interviewing, or use the separate microphone. Under the More tab are some system options. The first of which is the user manual, which gives an overview of the entire system, much as I'm showing now. There are a couple other options. One is view logs. View logs is a recording of all of the interactions that took place in the system, both with the English transcription and the foreign language translation. You notice that each of these is an English to Iraqi translation. That's the only one I can do. These ones that say recognition error are where I pushed the button but didn't give the system any input. So if I want to play back what the system heard, Have you seen any insurgent activity in the area? This is useful sometimes if the foreign language speaker is saying some word like a proper name that the system just doesn't get, and you want to later review that with a linguist in the loop. In addition to the logs, we have a couple of other options. One is the overall system settings, which let you change the language the system is operating on. I have it set up for Iraqi here, but this phone is loaded with Dari, Iraqi, and Pashto. To change the recording audio log format, and to turn on and off the audio confirmation in the English side. In addition, the system performs a unique form of what's called speaker adaptation on the English speaker side. This is to gain some increased performance by effectively automatically training the English speech recognition on the soldier's voice. However, if you want to hand the phone to some other English language speaker, that actual training will work against you. So reset speaker sets it back to the neutral mode as though the phone had just been rebooted without doing that. On the left side is a phrase book. The phrase book comes with 2 phrases preloaded, but you have the ability to add phrases to this for repeated things that you're going to utter every time. So for instance, please move over to the table and take everything out of your pockets. If the soldier doesn't want to say that every time, they can record that. But the 2 that it comes with are fairly important. One is the rephrase utterance. It's more than just the word rephrase. It asks the speaker, the foreign language speaker, to use different words when speaking. This is key when using a system like this, since if the system is lacking a particular word in its vocabulary, repeating it still won't get the translation correct. But typically, if they rephrase the way they're saying their answer, the system will get the concept across. The other is play instructions, which helps to train the foreign language speaker when they're being presented with this unusual system.
مرحبا، أنا أحب أحكي وياك، وهذا الجهاز راح يساعدنا بهالشيء. هذا الجهاز يترجم من اللغة الإنجليزية للغة العربية باللهجة العراقية، حتى واحدنا يقدر يفتهم الآخر. What this does
I didn't get that.
is play a little pre-recorded phrase where the foreign language instructor is told that foreign language speaker is told that this is a system that will help them communicate with the soldier, and when the phone is placed in front of their mouth, to speak clearly, use simple sentences, and respond naturally. So it's a kind of a 5-second training dialogue that gives them some familiarity with what the system is for, whereas the soldier obviously has been able to use the system as long as they've had it. So this is an overview of transtalk on an off-the-shelf phone. Here's transtalk with the optional peripheral set. It starts with a Y cable splitter, which splits the headset and microphone input on a standard phone off into 2 leads. One for this off-the-shelf speaker, which is just a COTS wireline and Bluetooth speaker, so it could conceivably talk to the phone via Bluetooth, that has this handy clip on it that could hang on the soldier's rig. And this custom-built microphone. This is just a standard microphone with 2 buttons which ride on the volume up, volume down leads that you'd see on your standard headset that comes with your phone. And a little plastic case with a clip, again, for the soldier to hook onto their uniform. The blue button is for the soldier, green button for the foreign language speaker, and a nice stretchy cord that so this can be used as a microphone. Instead of push to talk, it's push to start and push to stop, because each time it sends a volume up or a volume down activation to the system, so it knows which button to press. Please step out of your vehicle.
Please step out of your vehicle.
رجاء تنزل من سيارتك.
So pretty straightforward to use and completely optional, since it just uses the standard interface in the system. Assalamu alaikum.